Hello, you are listening to Skipping the Queue. Been a fucking while. No, this is not the Blazar movie. Please relax. They still haven't released that yet.
Now, I will say, as promised, Skipping the Queue has returned with a movie of some kind about an Ultraman who is a dad.
Yeah, exactly. We have returned with the family-based Ultraman. My name is Red. I'm joined by Mel.
Hello.
And Brad.
As a big baby with acid reflux, I felt very seen by this movie.
Yeah, so we watched the Netflix movie that came out. And as I told the director when he hairpin trigger tweeted at me over a little joke I made, I told him it was pretty good. It was pretty good. Please relax, Shannon. You're all right.
I do think because of that, there's a non-zero chance he listens to this podcast.
I suspect I had a quick scan of his account. He was simply retweeting people talking about the movie. I think that's all that was happening. If he listens to this podcast, hi Shannon, take a seat. Welcome.
I like your movie a lot.
Can you use your connections to Subaraya to tell them to release the Blazar movie? And also the Ultra 7 I loved in the English subtitles? That'd be cool.
Yeah. So yeah, we watched Ultraman Rising. New Netflix movies as CG animated. It was
2 days ago as a recording.
Yeah.
About 6 days if you're listening to this when it comes out.
Mm-hmm. Yes. Japanese-American co-production. I would arrange those two words differently. I would call this an American-Japanese co-production. It was a movie. Came out. I don't know how it's done.
Seems to be doing pretty good.
Okay.
The word of mouth on this has been very good from what I've seen.
Yeah, I've been seeing lots of praise on the timeline. Might be number 4 slot of something in Netflix related, but I don't know specifics. Maybe.
Okay.
So it's doing pretty good,
Mm-hmm.
which is deserved.
So, do we have any lead up or anything? Because I have a summary.
Oh, I got.
Go ahead, Mel.
I was gonna say I just did some quick production history stuff, which
Go for it.
To paraphrase my friends is a bit difficult because in this modern era there's a lot of information and it's all on tweets. But thankfully the Ultraman wiki just got those. And there's a few articles around, so I can go through that briefly. I don't know if Brad wanted to say something first.
No, I was just saying we should get to the summary, but if we have production, that is, I think, a good lead. So, Go ahead.
Yeah. So, lead creator of this movie is Shannon Tyndall, who's been a big fan of Ultraman since he was a child. Apparently, he first saw Ultraman when he was 5 or 6. At some point in his life, he really reconnected with the character when he moved to LA in 97. He got this idea for the story from his experiences as a parent. Probably not surprising if you watch the movie. He had originally had the idea of Hiro raises a baby kaiju as early as 2001.
Nice.
Prior to him working Cartoon Network on Foster's Home for Imagining Friends. Originally wasn't an Ultraman thing. It was called Made in Japan. And the protagonist was more like a Sentai-inspired hero kind of thing. But he later reworked into an Ultraman-inspired hero. Here's some concept art for when he pitched it to Cartoon Network.
The fact that it starts as Sentai is illuminating about one particular aspect of this movie. You can continue. We will get
See, you referencing the Foster's Homes for Imaginary Friends thing. I'm looking at this. I'm like, I can see, I see it with this image.
Yeah, I liked that show as a kid.
I did too. I thought it was a good time.
Yeah, but anyway, he tried to pitch the show. He tried to pitch it to Cartoon Network, but they turned him down. There's a crazy gap of history as it suddenly jumps to 2015. He's, I guess, working at Sony Picture Animations at this point and tried to pitch to them, and the project got put into playing stages. At this point, the plot seemed to have been reworked into a billionaire hero is now stuck raising the orphan child of his former adversary. But this project was cancelled in 2018. At this point, Tyndall left Sony and pitched the idea to Netflix. He was like, yeah, I got this Ultraman-inspired story idea. Do you want it? And then Netflix was like, what if you just made an Ultraman story? And it was like, all right. I pitched it to Super Eye Productions, and Super Eyes were like, oh, you can use Ultraman. And so at that point, movie guy began production in 2019 once he got permission to use the IP. The animation studio was Industrial Light and Magic, across their London, Singapore, and Vancouver studios. In terms of aesthetic inspirations, obviously got a lot of inspiration from the Spider-Verse movies.
Oh, absolutely.
Very clear, but also very good. Ultraman design, from the jump, they were like, didn't want to go for a radical Ultraman design. They wanted to go with something classic and familiar. And part of that was just because, presumably a lot of newcomers would come to this movie, especially because it's kind of niche in the West and it's an American production. So, like, having a really fucking weird Ultraman design would probably just be weird for people who are, like, just being introduced to the brand. Though apparently the specific proportions were inspired by, like, Evangelion and Leiji Matsumoto's work. Those were two inspirations there.
I could see the Matsumoto now that you reference it.
They also felt like, because it's an animated work, it's not constrained by suit acting, so you can use some weirder proportions and stuff. There's something else I was going to say. I will say, from what I understand, that this is a unique Ultraman. New character, not the guy we know from 66. He doesn't really have a name because, there isn't really a reason for it, but, there's a different kind of guy.
It has to be its own continuity because of a couple of specific things.
Yeah.
I'm not getting to the summary yet, but Ultraman is not a guy. Ultraman is his superhero form. Ken. When he's Ultraman, he is nonetheless Ken. Yeah. And that is different from Ultraman.
That's more like Dan, to be honest, but. Regardless.
Yeah, but Dan is an alien. These guys aren't. I mean, are they part alien because their mum is from the M78 Nebula? What's going on there? Anyway.
We might find out eventually, but we don't know for now. Apparently, the Kaiju Emmy's design was inspired by a Toho TV show called Kure Kure Takora, which is like a kids kaiju show they released in the 70s. Here's a little picture of that. Okay. I found, if it loads.
Oh, I don't like this thing.
Oh, you see it? Okay, yeah.
This is like sicko Teletubbies. I don't like this.
Yeah. As for why baseball? Inspiration for the manga Star of the Giants and the 2011 film Moneyball. Because
okay.
I guess
there is a guy in Moneyball whose whole arc is that he was a star baseball player and he's transitioning to kind of more of a leadership role.
We've missed out on the opportunity for the most unhinged Ultraman movie of all time, where he invents sabermetrics.
Also, why baseball? Because Ken Sato is just Shohei Ohtani. None of his character is from Ohtani, but like it's odd how close they've matched Ken's trajectory to Ohtani's trajectory. It's strange.
There's a part where I feel I know nothing about sports, and so I'm just gonna pretend I know what you both are talking about. So
Shohei Ohtani is like the greatest baseball player that living. Okay. And he, was a Japanese player, and he has moved to the LA Dodgers, which is the team that Ken moved to America to play for. And that's been a whole big story in baseball because of the hilarious contract that Ohtani has at the Dodgers, where they have pulled some bullshit to be like, yeah, we're gonna pay him like millions when he retires in 10 years. For now, we're paying him like pennies so that we can buy ourselves a really good team to back him up. And it's proper like villain shit. But you know,
sports.
Sports.
I also have no idea what sabermetrics are.
It's the form of like player stats and analytics that was developed by some guy that completely and utterly changed the way that baseball teams are formed and how the game is played.
Sounds also
you know how. So you know how at the beginning of this movie, his mum is sat watching the baseball with a notepad and pen out. Baseball fans are just like that.
Yeah.
There are no fans on Earth that take their own stats like baseball fans.
Which gets alluded to a little bit, like in the conversation with the journalist and stuff, even, and like the discrepancy about like team performance versus individual player like stat performance sort of thing too.
Mm-hmm.
And yes, his batting average is, or whatever it is 420, which is that is a thing that they say.
Yeah. In any case.
Anyway, now, yeah.
Just last points.
Did you have a couple more things? Yeah, go for it.
Yeah. Team brought a lot of like external consultants and also an internal advisory team just for like cultural stuff for Japan and depicting Japan properly. There's some people from Japan. There's people who were Japanese Americans. So, you know, a mix of stuff there. Also, the opening prologue was a later addition because Ultraman superfan Guillermo del Toro saw the movie and was like, hey, maybe you should put something in there just so like people can get caught up on what the idea of Ultraman is rather than just throwing them in the deep end.
Our goat has come up numerous times on this podcast.
Yeah. He's got that documentary coming, which we'll eventually watch on Skipping the Queue, presumably. Just going through quickly the staff and cast and crew. Got Shannon Tyndall, director and writer. This is, as far as I can tell, his directorial debut. But previously he wrote for Kubo and the Two Strings and a show called Lost Ollie. He's also, before that, was primarily a character designer. One Big Show, Foster's Home for Imaginary Friends, and Coraline, but also, Kubo as well, and the one movie Turbo about the racing snails. Co-director was John Aoshima, who is, longtime collaborator with Tyndall and stuff. Also worked on Kubo. He has also did some directorial work for Disney with DuckTales 2017 and Gravity Falls. He also was involved with Kubo on the story side stuff. And, he's also an Ultraman fan, and so he's also like, oh man, working on Ultraman, that's a heavy responsibility kind of thing. I forgot to write the name of the second writer, which is kind of embarrassing for me.
Chris Hames, I believe.
I think it's Haynes. It's like Chris something.
Mark Hames. Sorry,
Mark Himes.
Himes. I'm just pronouncing it Hames.
Yeah, he also worked with Tyndall on Kubo and Lost Ollie. Then we got art.
You keep saying Lost Ollie, and for some reason my brain is auto-correcting it to Lost Odyssey. Very different thing, I'm assuming.
Yeah. The art direction, the lead art director is Sunmin In, who I couldn't really find. Well, I did look up these guys on IMDb, but I'm basically saying stuff that I recognize. Then we got the main character designer, Keiko Murayama, who you might know for their work in Turning Red. Then we got Marcos Mateo Mestra, sorry if I mispronounced that, who seemed to mostly be production and environment stuff as far as the art direction goes. Also worked on Turbo, but also worked on Puss in Boots and Megamind. Then the animators, First we got Matthew Vig, who seems to be a VFX guy. He worked on Paddington, Ready Player One, and The Eternals. And then this guy has an interesting career. Tony Facil worked on The Lion King, Hunchback of Notre Dame, Iron Giant, Atlantis, Finding Nemo, Up, WALL-E, Incredibles 1 and 2, and Ratatouille.
So he's yeah.
Seems like a pretty important guy. Been around. As for the cast, I only got the English dub cast because that's how we watched it. You can look up the other ones online. With Ken, we got Christopher Sean, Professor Sato, Gede Watanabe, Ami Sato, and the robot Mina, Tamlin Tomita. Ami is voiced by Julia Harriman, and Dr. Onda, voiced by Keone Young, who's the only one in here who had roles I recognize in anything. Played Kaz in Hi Hi Puffy Yami Yumi, and the grandpa in American Dragon, Jake Long.
I will tell you, Dr. Onda's Japanese voice actor is Gendo Ikari.
That's fantastic.
Oh. It's Fumihiko Tachiki.
Okay. That's a fun pick.
Who is also, I don't know if you've met Vodka in Detective Conan yet.
No, I haven't met most. I haven't met most of the organization guys yet. I know some of them exist, but I haven't met them yet. But yeah, that's my production side stuff.
Okay. In which case, let me give you a summary of what happens in Ultraman Rising. There's like a middle section of this movie where I suddenly go quite broad. That is simply I'm not doing a scene by scene breakdown. That's not happening. We'll talk about the movie once I'm done here. So, Ken Sato is Shohei Ohtani. He is a world famous baseball player from Japan playing for the LA Dodgers, but his dad is Ultraman, unlike Shohei Ohtani, I assume. Allegedly. And he's getting old. He has to retire as Ultraman and asks Ken to return to Japan to take his place. Ken is not happy about this and becomes less happy about it when his mother goes missing. But accepts. He doesn't want to see his dad, though. Ken is a pretty useless Ultraman, feeling that the people are ungrateful for his heroics, i.e. breaking everything, and preferring to leave the hard work of fighting kaiju to the KDF, that's Kaiju Defense Force. This is a problem because, and this is a crucial thing to bear in mind considering our experience of Ultraman so far, Ultraman and the KDF, led by Dr. Onda, don't get along anymore because Ultraman wants to save kaiju too, and the KDF wants them dead. Ken's first match in Japan, playing for the Giants, is ruined right after he hits a home run by the appearance of a kaiju called Gigantron, which I'm like, no, come on, kaiju names. We go back to the Greek. Gigantron. This is a giant winged kaiju with beam breath, and Ken goes after it to try to persuade it to drop whatever capsule it's holding, because clearly the KDF are after it and will kill it. The KDF fire on Dr. Onda's orders and bring down both Gigantron and Ultraman. Ultraman believes Gigantron to be dead, and the capsule breaks open to reveal a hatching egg. A baby Gigantron appears and imprints on Ultraman. So begins the process of secretly raising and warming up to this giant unwanted child with the help of Ken's supercomputer that has his mother's voice. This has disastrous effects on Ken's ability to play baseball as he's permanently exhausted. In the meantime, Ken also bonds with a sports journalist named Ami, where previously they've had some weird confrontations. One night, the baby escapes and Ken has to rescue her from the KDF, but her arm is dislocated in the process. Ken allows his dad back into his life, first to help with the arm and then to split the job of raising a kid. As a result of this, Ken's growing maturity and... hang on, let me try that sentence again. As a result of this, Ken's growing maturity and him teaching Emmy baseball. Emmy is the dad names the baby after Ken's mum. And also just generally having the time to get the rest he needs. His baseball career improves as he takes on a leadership role in the team, and the Giants are on their way to being champions, which will be Ken's first championship. After a heart-to-heart between father and son, out like in the woods, sharing their fears of not being good enough Ultramen to save the people they care about. The gang is attacked by the KDF, like twice in a row. Both times they fake kill out Ken's dad, and the second time they use Mecha Gigantron to lure out Emmy. Dr. Onda plans to use Emmy's location to find the Monster Anarchy Zone and wipe out all kaiju for good. Ken heads out to save the day, fights Mecha Gigantron, and it turns out the real Gigantron mother is inside the mecha suit. At some point, Ken gets injured and is rescued by his dad. Ken's arm gets injured, I think. Is rescued by his dad as Ultraman with a mustache. Missed opportunity to use the father of Ultra, but that's okay. Gigantron is brought back to her senses, and Dr. Onda in his big plane in the sky is like, oh, well then I guess I have to do it. Has everyone evacuate the ship and then transforms it into a giant evil looking mech. He fights all 4 of the gang: Ultraman, his dad, Emmy, her mother. Ultraman and his dad get arm injuries and can't do a Spacium beam by themselves, so they do a father-son Spacium beam. Shameless. If this has not been done in Ultraman already that we haven't seen, then that's money on the table. Come on.
I was like, you mean they have to destroy every single cell so he can't regenerate?
Yes. Yeah. Dr. Onda activates the self-destruct because he's so broken up about his family dying in the past that he can't let kaiju live, and he's sort of forgotten that other families exist too. He's like the dark side he's like the dark side version of our fanfic punished Ide. He's in reverse. Ken uses himself and a barrier to contain the explosion, and we cut to Ken giving an interview with Ami, arm in sling, about the Giants winning the season and his own growth. We see Ken, his dad, and Emmy ride a boat to Kaiju Island, the Monster Anarchy Zone, where her and her mother will live free. In a post-credit scene, Ken gets a call from his still missing mother, who is maybe in the M78 Nebula at the end. Now, before we talk about anything else in this movie, first thing right at the top, why are all the women his mum? They've got his mum. They've got his kid named after his mum. They've got his supercomputer, who's the voice of his mum and looks after him. They've got his girlfriend that he's like, you look like my mother, and her name is Ami. They're all his mum. What's going on there?
I never thought about that.
Yeah, I didn't really think about that.
Like, the supercomputer one makes sense to me.
Yeah.
The kaiju one makes sense to me. Maybe with the reporter, that's a little bizarre.
That's like my that's like one little thing. Though I just had to get that out before we got caught up in the rest of this movie. What's going on there? I don't know.
Does he say you look like my mom? I don't remember that part, but
I think he does. I think he
says
says
that part. I forgot that part.
Or like, you remind me of my mom. Something like that. It's it's just they're all his mum for some reason, and then the one who isn't his mum is Emmy's mum. They're all anyway, that was Ultraman Rising.
Yeah.
He is risen.
So I decided, we're covering a movie. I brought a notebook and a pen to this thing, and I was like, let me make sure I take some notes.
Yeah. This is technically our first time actually covering a movie, because like with Shin Ultraman, we just kind of shot the shit for like 20 minutes.
Yeah. Now, that being said, I'm going to share my entire note doc with you, and I think we can go through these in order. So,
you want to read these out for the class?
Yes. So my first one is, we got this one covered. Big baby with acid reflux joke. Got to prepare the bit. Number 2, in all caps, Ultraman Blazar found dead in Miami.
That's fucking right. Now I'm gonna be real. I thought this movie was pretty good. I'm not like super high on it, but I thought it was pretty good. However, next to Blazar, this is unfair. This is like,
Can you look at this message I sent on Friday?
Thoughts 2 minutes into Rising. Imagine if we had a scene like this in Blazar. That's fucking right. Imagine if Blazar had done any of the shit in this fucking movie.
It's just
Gento, you need to learn how to be a dad, bro. You're not a dad.
You need to not have an affair with Ultraman.
You need to not have an affair with Ultraman. Or you need to lean into the fact you're having an affair with Ultraman. Then you'd really have the juice. Ultraman Blazar might be my favorite Ultraman.
Divorcium beam.
No, that's divorce is what happened in the last Ace we watched.
Yeah, that's true. Oh, he's gonna get the divorcium beam.
I can't. Yeah.
Yeah, just like.
I was just gonna quickly cover my third point, which is Ultra Dad no horns.
Ultra Dad no horns. I think they should have given him horns. It would be imagine how sick that would be if he had the horns.
Yeah,
that would be good.
Yeah, I that first scene with like Canon as a child and his parents, the Ultraman stuff happens. I'm just like, yeah, this could have been a thing they did in Blazar at all.
Yeah,
and like presumably, I'm hoping the movie is like about Gento's family finding out actually instead of what happened in the show. But even then, I'm like, yeah, even then I'm like, well, one, it suck if it didn't, and two, even if it does, it's still sort of like the thing where it's like, well, that's like what the movie would be about, and not like we wouldn't have a thing where we're like, that's the status quo now, and like you get the scenes of him and his family like live with that, like the way this movie does, which I think is like, a shame. Really rude to Blazar's movie that this order of events happened.
Yeah.
And I mean, I'd pretty all right if you're a Japanese fan or like Southeast Asian fan, sure, but like for us, it's like, damn. what's good? Yeah.
I don't think we can call Blazar the dad Ultraman anymore. That's not, you can't call it that. Yeah.
I do like I really liked this movie. I need to sit with it more, but like this is one of my favorite things we've watched for this podcast. I had a great time with this. I was like moved to tears in several scenes. And I was like, damn, I'm not even a father. There's so much of this movie that I'm just like, oh, like this gives me hope for what alternative visions of Ultraman could look like that we will get to in the future. The fact that the team just sucks in this, I adored.
Yeah.
And I mean, we've been making jokes about that forever now, and I'm happy someone else is finally like, these organizations suck. We should like make a story about that.
Yeah,
was so good. I'm so happy that they took it this route.
Yeah, and of course, anyone who's like maybe listens to their first pod, like the only shows you've seen are like 60s and 70s, and also Blazar. So just for context of where we're coming from, if you're like a more seasoned Ultraman fan listening. But yeah, I did like how we just got we got the Ichiro Tani-pilled professor in charge of the defense team.
He's big evil. I have a couple of notes about the KDF. One, Tokyo Bay base, very well done, very nice. Underwater Tokyo Bay base, good.
Yeah.
Their uniforms are like Ultra Guard uniforms, but in orange, in reference to like SSSP.
It's kind of like orange and reddish a little bit.
Yeah, I think that's what's happening there. The thing I made a joke about, and then I got a reply on Twitter, was the KDF are bowing to each other instead of saluting, which I found very ironic given early Ultraman's whole thing of being like cultivating a Western feel. And like no one's bowing in that stuff. They're all saluting each other all the time.
I don't think anyone's like bowing in like modern Ultraman either, to be honest.
Yeah, but it's like I fired off a quick tweet with a little ironic gif, got a response from Shannon being like, "Oh, this was from the Japanese portion of our team," and I was like, "It's okay, man, relax. you're okay. It's fine. Just chill." My other thing, my one note on the KDF at Evil is the KDF Evil good. However, the vehicles should be more heroic looking. They should be in bright colors. They should look like the hero robots. That's what they should look like. That.
Like
I realize that it might not quite vibe with this sort of like comic book movie sensibility of the bad guys have to look like bad guys, but I think if you're gonna make the KDF evil, you have to make them look like the you have to make them look like the Ultra Guard. You have to make them have big, bright colored vehicles.
Yeah, not the all black unmarked VTOLs. We need the bright primary colors.
Yeah, absolutely. But yes, I am absolutely team. Hell yeah! Of course, the KDF are evil.
Yeah, I will say that like it does feel like kids movie core to like have like the villain's evil, but he has a personal reason for being evil rather than just the defense teams are just like that, which is kind of like the vibe you get from like the shows where it's just like
the one, yeah,
just like it's not like. Kishida doesn't have like personal reasons for wanting to kill kaiju, even if he has other baggage, for instance.
Mm-hmm. The one thing about like Onda's like personal motivation that I quite like is just his kind of like the ways that to the people on his team he is like a hero, right? Like that ending bit where he's like telling his guys, okay, everyone abandon ship. If I'm the last one left, no one if no one's left, no one can rebuild the KDF. And that he's like willing to die for this, and his crew are like, mad respect, sir.
Unlike Matt, where they're all deciding to go blow themselves up instead of like treat women well.
I mean that I like that about that episode.
I'm just saying there's a difference. There's a difference.
There's a difference here, and his kind of like him being like evil is like he's kind of normal evil, which I think is what you want from KDF. Is you don't quite want like you want guys who can mistake themselves for heroes. Which is what Dr. Onda is.
Yeah, it's like working for the themes of the movie, because it's like his thing is like, oh, I lost my family, and so I'm gonna destroy all the kaiju, and like is willfully ignorant of like his violence towards Ken and his family thing. So and also just like I guess like yeah, you want to protect your family, but also there are ways to go about it that are harmful to other people, kind of thing. So
something I really like about this movie, and like just like a storytelling like parallel thing I noticed a lot, is both our primary, like our protagonist and our antagonist are both very caught up in the past and dwelling on previous like eras of their lives, and like constantly looking at memorabilia, video, photo from that time. And, like every time Kenji does that, it's like him using it, and then kind of like it's a push for him to be a better person, to maybe kind of reclaim that happiness, even if he knows he can't necessarily completely recreate what was lost. And every single time that the director of the defense team does it, he's doing it to justify doing some of the most evil shit in the world. I thought that was a really fun contrast.
Yeah.
The one thing in
Dr.
this area...
Onda also not like Ibuki, because he does love his family.
Yeah, this is true. Ibuki would be normal in this situation. He'd be like, oh damn, my family died. Well, you know, you got to back Ultraman.
Though important to stress, no less violent towards the kaiju.
Oh yeah, still trying to murder the kaiju, but he's like, man, come on, Ultraman. We're supposed to be murdering kaiju together. That's the dream. Something I will say is I think it's, you know, given the prevalence of like Dr. Onda's grudge that he has against Ultraman, I think it's, you know, the way that Kenji and his dad talk about the struggles of being Ultraman is about like protecting like the people that they love, the people around them, and I'm like, what about the people that you don't know? What about what about like, you know, what about Dr. Onda's family? Like why did they die? What happened there? And
Rushi
like
moment.
Is there any like is there any like any wrestling with like the difficulty, because like this opens on Kenji being like a version of a superhero that I really like, which is one who is ungrateful to the people, and not ungrateful to one who feels that the people are ungrateful to him for his heroics, and his heroics are mostly just like wrecking shit in the city, and he's like, everyone thinks I suck. Get the fuck out of here. I'm the superhero. What are you talking about? And
we get nice clips from him, like this is a talkative Ultraman compared to like the stuff we've been watching so far.
Mm-hmm. And the way it goes from there is like maturity through accidentally having a child. And the thing that it doesn't really reckon with is like, well, you know, what about what about all the people you don't fucking know who like rely on you, and you have to, I don't know. There's like it's like all kind of presented as like interpersonal stuff with like his team and like his like just like the people he interacts with, like his relationships improving, but like presumably innocent people still die. How do you feel about that?
They even do the thing where like the lady, the way that this is initially communicated is through that one lady who's like giving him shit, like the older lady.
Fun fact, that's the one voiced by Haruko Sakurai.
I kind of guessed that. Yeah.
And then they make her part of the like. She's like the mom of like his reporter friend, it turns out, sort of thing. If I'm recalling.
Oh yeah, I guess that does complicate it by just like instead of her just being a random person, she's like 2 degrees separated from him.
Yeah,
I guess I can see the thing where like him becoming more mature by having to raise the child also makes him like more conscientious of like others around him, because he's like, you know,
mm-hmm.
I don't want to hurt Emmy, which means to him being like, well, I should also protect other people, kind of thing. But also, it's mm-hmm. not like,
and we can,
it's more, it's like if it's there, that's more of a subtle thing than like a explicitly drawn out thing.
And we can see that expressed through like he teaches Emmy baseball, and then he like match cut to him teaching the rookie baseball on the team. Whereas earlier he was giving like signed cards to the rookie, being like, yeah, those sell like crazy online.
This does like weirdly like rub up against something I've been thinking about, just like with where I'm at in my own life, of like, where does the interpersonal start and where does like community start, and like where do both of those things end? And like the ways in which it's like
I was gonna say the world ends with you.
2 different kinds of people.
I'm leaving the podcast. But yeah, it's one of those things where it's like I do, a lot of it does become just like revolve around his personal circle of people, and I do genuinely think they could have done a better job of like extending that out to the entirety of Tokyo and their place in this sort of thing.
One of that's just
like
Oh, you finish your thought.
Oh, I was gonna say, like, a lot of this is also wrapped up to, like, part of the reason he has attitude, I assumed, was because he's a big celebrity hotshot baseball player that, like, is constantly in the news sort of thing, like, one of the best players, like, in the league sort of thing. And, like, obviously that's gonna give you, like, a hothead sort of thing. And one thing that I think was my big kind of, like, I don't know if I would have done this, is they kind of go the route at first of, like, oh, he's not because after he becomes like a parent out of nowhere, he starts to struggle in baseball, which is like his one big love and passion in life. And after he asks his dad to help out, then we see him start to improve and like gain that appreciation, and like, you know, by the end of it, like he's a beloved member of the team sort of thing. And there is part of me that kind of almost wonders if maybe I would have appreciated that being more of a sacrifice, because like I understand what they were trying to go for, of like, hey, when you start to rely on other people, like that's how you allow yourself to balance all these things, and like it takes a village to raise a child sort of thing, and like you can find balance and a harmony in all of that. But also too, like, sometimes being a good parent means you do have to give up on stuff, and like you find other ways to not only give that to your child in like a healthy way where you're not trying to make them in a mini version of you, but also to like, you know, through community and trying to find ways to like give back and like kind of hand things off to the next generation. I almost wondered if maybe they could have gone a different way with that than what they did with like, oh, he's just everyone's like hunky-dory on the team sort of thing. I don't know. I can't believe I just said fucking hunky-dory. Anyways.
Yep. Yeah. I do. Yeah, now that you've said that, like, I did like the whole thing where it's like, well, his dad helps out, and it's like, well, it's not just like, you know, like emotional healing. It's like, well, now there are two people raising child, which means, or three, I guess, with supercomputer. There are three people raising child, which means that now there is time for life. now yeah. you can live. And so I liked that on like just like the material realities of raising a child. But you are right that you know, the result of this movie is, yeah, I was a really good dad, and also I got to be the best baseball player in the world at the same time.
And also
just
Ultraman.
Built different. Yeah.
All three. Man, you know, ain't no fucking fresh Precure burnout for this guy.
I mean, he did get that a little bit at the start.
He did.
I was thinking about that. Fresh Precure specifically for that.
It's such an essential pull because it's such an insane thing to do in a magical girl show. Is turn to camera and say, hey, you know, if you're struggling with something and like, you know, you have too much stuff to do, if you try really, really, really hard, believe in yourself and the power of friendship, you will end up in a hospital from burnout.
Damn.
Yeah.
Fresh Precure goes.
That's pretty hard.
What was I gonna say? I was gonna say something about like, you know, maybe some of the interpersonal stuff relates to just, you know, this is an American movie, so, you know, some of there's ideology happening, even if it's not like, you know, intentional. It's just in the background.
Yeah, ideology sort of, is everywhere for those with eyes to see. Yes.
Yeah, you know, it's just like, you know, swim in the sea of individualist liberalism. That's kind of like, you know, the way it works. There's something else I'm going to say about, like, before I lost my train of thought.
Do you want me to talk about something you can think about it?
Yeah, I want to think about it.
Okay. What was the thing I was going to say?
Do you want me to say it so that you can think about it? There's
something I at least remember is just like, you know.
There we go. We did it.
He does. I don't know if it's the same thing, but he does mention, you know, just like experience a bit of racism in the U.S. and that's sort of maybe also contributing to him being like, yes. I'm just gonna become like Dante from Devil May Cry. So they give him something else to talk about.
Yeah. So there is in this movie because this again. This is called a Japanese-American co-production. I would do it the other way around. I would call this an American-Japanese co-production. all you have to do is just look at the names. Look at the names of the people making the movie at the top. The thing here is there has been what I would call, and this is not an insult to the movie, I admire craftsmanship. There is a degree of sleight of hand here in this characterization of Ken as someone who has lived in the US and is now coming back to Japan and is like not quite fitting in. Which is, you can write like an American movie. You can get away with it. It works. This is a very American family movie. Speaking as someone who does not live in America, this is like ticks all the boxes.
Yeah, but American cultural hegemony.
Yeah, but it's like it's a very I don't know how to explain it. It's all just vibe, but it's something about like the way that like father and son talk to each other is like it's very, and the reason I call it sleight of hand is because this makes the conversations work, right? Where it's like Ken having these weirdly like extremely abrasive conversations with his dad, and like getting really in his face about it, and his dad kind of not handling it, is like extreme. Like there's something about it that's very like this is like a version of Kenji that like his dad doesn't really know how to deal with. It's like, it's like, I don't know how to explain this.
Well, I mean, he couldn't. I assume it's like he didn't, because this is Kenji after moving away and only now coming back.
This is Kenji after moving away and adopting this persona, due to in part, like you say, due to him saying like, implied racism, and then him coming back and sticking to that persona, and like you've got characters in the movie saying like Kenji just doesn't fit into Japanese baseball and stuff like that, and like,
or even like the scene with like, oh, like you're supposed to dip it in the noodle, like little like things like that,
stuff like that, and it just means that I think it makes writing Kenji easier, because like you're not, otherwise you risk being weeby about Japanese characters. There's a danger there.
Yeah. It just does remind me of how like often you'll have like anime where like one character is like, oh, they were in this country for like a year and they come back and like it defines them.
Yes. I mean, it's fairer to Kenji because it was years and years.
In those cases, it's like goofy and not serious.
Yeah.
This one's like actual like thought put into it.
So yeah, I like I basically like Kenji a lot. As like a guy.
He's probably like the most of a guy we've had for an Ultraman yet so far.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. I like a guy who fucking sucks is the thing.
Yeah.
On record.
That's also good.
I like it when there are protagonists and antagonists with clearly defined beliefs that cause them to clash and conflict. And I think I maybe didn't realize till watching this how desperately I kind of wanted that from some of the other stuff we watched, and maybe haven't necessarily gotten quite yet. So,
are you saying that the show Ultraman, where different writers have different competing visions of what the show is, might not have characters with like consistent belief?
Yeah.
So, sorry. Are they aliens? What? How do they turn into Ultraman? What's happening?
I was under the assumption that like it was typical the way that the mom's talking at the end sounds like a weird like, oh, I ended up here. Like I think they were first human then. like merged as per usual.
I've seen some people complaining on Twitter about people correctly. I'll say in this case, they're like saying some people are saying, "Oh, this isn't a good movie to get into Ultraman because it doesn't explain Ultraman's powers," and that's stupid. But it doesn't explain it, which I think is fine. But like, you know,
it doesn't explain it. However, on this podcast, I would like to ask the question: what are they? How they get? Is because his dad's still Ultraman, so why is he Why can they both be Ultraman at the same time if one's like passed on the power? Is it like not actually passed on? Is it like genetic? What's happening? I have questions.
It's like in reference to our Mirror Man podcast, like My Hero Academia, where All Might passes on All for One to Jack.
He ate one hair.
Yeah.
He had to do a bunch of training and then eat a hair.
the Ultra hair.
Yeah.
I almost wonder, like, because I envisioned that, like, the past stuff was, like, deliberately trying to evoke, like, oh, it's, like, you know, a traditional Ultraman sort of thing. So I'm almost wondering, like, if he merged and then somehow he just, like, never unmerged and just gave his power to his kid, too. Which, like, I guess I could believe is a thing they could do. We haven't had any of... None of the fuckers we've seen have, like, had a kid post transformation / merging.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we don't understand Ultraman biology or family dynamics yet.
Yeah.
Because I also was kind of under the impression, like...
What do you say?
All we know is that there's a father. That's all we know.
Yeah. I did... Oh shit, what was I gonna say? I don't even remember anymore, damn.
Do you want us to talk for a bit and you can think about it?
Yeah.
Yes, please do.
I don't know what to talk about. Let me pull up my notes here. There was one shot right at the end where this movie briefly looks like a video game. Otherwise, it looks great all the time. But it's just this very brief bit on the boat with Emmy, and they're going to the Monster Anarchy Zone. They don't call it the Monster Anarchy Zone, but I know what it is.
Kaiju Island.
Kaiju Island is the Monster Anarchy. Chandler's there from Friends. When they're on that boat and it's panning out a bit, I'm like, this looks like a video game. But otherwise, I think this movie looks great. I especially like the brief, you know, like you were saying, extremely Spider-Verse, like comic book, like flashes on like some of the super punches that they do.
Yeah.
I like how they use, like, the weird blurring effect of the original, like, Ultra Q and Ultraman logo to, like...
When he's bad?
They do, yes.
Evoke emotion. It's so good.
It's good. It's, like, that's the shit we need.
I remember what I was gonna say. This is the
really
least
cool.
important thing. That is a good shot.
POV or Bolton.
Not again!
The least important thing I've ever said, but I was under the assumption while watching the movie, like, oh yeah, he, like, the host, or like the Ultra Alien just, like, hopped hosts, and then when the dad also, like, transformed, I was like, oh wait, I don't know what's happening anymore. But yeah, that was the only point I had to say that I forgot and then remembered.
However, regardless of questions, it leads to the father-son Spacium beam.
Which is amazing.
Yeah, really good.
I'm like... Remember when we talked about the family-powered Spacium beam from Blazar, and we were just, Brad's exact words were, "This is less like a family-powered Spacium beam and more like a I could get away with an affair Spacium beam." And this is I'm just like, this is so mean to Blazar.
It's so funny that this was just like in production for years. Before Blazar, and then Blazar comes out, and this movie comes out, but not for us. And then this movie comes out, and it's like, well, what does Blazar have besides Yasunobu's pecs?
Will Blazar have? Yeah, Blazar won't have, you know, what we need.
I mean, I still want to watch that movie, obviously, but you know,
obviously,
yeah.
Super Aya, when? Please, immediately.
Yeah.
Oh, if you got a point.
No, you go ahead.
Okay, so I think that this movie hit a galaxy brain realization that a lot of other similar movies about like, oh, unexpected parenthood, what are we gonna do with this cute little baby, is that they can put the baby in extreme duress to like you know, make you feel things like breaking the baby's arm or hitting the baby with a missile and make you feel
breaking the baby's arm was fucking crazy.
Yeah. He's like,
you're a crack.
He did that, basically.
He did that to her. I was like, okay.
Yeah.
Damn.
You know what else he did?
What?
He put it in a jar like a monkey.
True.
I can't believe this fucker has like a fucking underwater secret base with a sports car collection.
Yeah. Oh, I do like the touch of her using a sports car like it's a fucking like plushie.
Yes, to like sleep with. That was cute.
Yeah, we haven't really talked about Emmy. Feelings about Emmy.
I like her.
I love her so much. She's great.
Good
That's one. Good scrimblow. Yeah, I thought she was okay.
Yeah, I like Gigatron. I like Emmy as a design for a baby Gigatron.
Oh, I see. I've hit you with the Gigatron virus.
This is Gigantron.
Do you mean Gigantron?
Fuck, I don't know.
Here's the thing. Gigantron's better. It's just better. I don't know how they pronounce it in Japanese, but that's the rule of thumb.
Hold on. I just remember something. You keep going, and then I'll go.
Yeah, rule of thumb on Greek words in a Japanese context is they pronounce it right. And that's not because the English language is stupid. That's because the English language has had those Greek words for a very, very, very long time. They have been warped, and Japan got them relatively recently. And, naturally, as is correct, when they picked them up, they went to the source. And that's why in Zeta Gundam, they have the Titans. That's why Eureka 7 is Eureka 7.
That sounds a lot, actually.
Etc. Yeah.
Roman influence on the Greekness too, often too. Yeah. Anyway, this is from like a month ago or something, or a few weeks ago or something. They just made a suit for it already.
Oh, that's fun.
Oh,
that looks
cool.
good.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wait, as in there's a guy in that?
Yeah.
Oh, sick.
I think so.
Good job.
If they could just put this in like stage shows and stuff.
I can see where they put the eyes. It's in the folds.
Yeah.
In the neck.
Ah, that's a good place for them.
They're masters of the craft.
They are.
But yeah, I like when Super Eye is just like, yeah, we got suits of the animated things for stage shows and stuff. That's
just to show off, just to be like, you thought you could make one that we couldn't do.
Yeah, they got ones for like they got ones for like Gridman and stuff too. So
hell yeah,
the color gradient, like the gradient on the wings for the suit is like so good.
Oh yeah, the like orange to yellow. Hell yeah,
it looks nice.
I want to know who makes these suits. Reminds me of like the video Alice put out for Vengeance, where it's just like, yeah, we got the mask video.
Oh, the Slipknot crossover.
Oh, I did not watch this. I should watch this. Hang on, I should watch the Slipknot SMT5 video. What the fuck? Why haven't I seen that?
You know the person who made the masks for Slipknots made some masks for SMT5.
Oh, that's fucking cool.
Yeah.
God damn. I've never felt as good as when the new SMT5 got announced, and I was like, well, I never fucking played that game. So yeah, fuck you.
I felt bad.
I've won. I won.
I bought it on FOMO and only played like an hour of it. So
damn,
they got you. I hit the worst of anyone. Except for, I guess like, if I ever got it again and I wouldn't have spent my time on that first campaign. Whatever.
Rip.
There's some good henshins in this movie.
Yeah,
he's got one off a motorbike jump.
Yeah. There's one where he's angry. He just goes punch straight into Henshin.
Yeah. They drop the swatches.
Yeah.
Oh, they do. They've got kids running around yelling Shuwatch. It's playing as Ultraman. It's good.
I like how they saved like the normal transformation for the end of the movie.
Yes, I thought that was good too.
I'm pulling up Netflix right now because I just remembered he has a toy collection, and we have to check. We have to confirm.
Are you looking for Thunderbirds?
Whether there's any fucking Thunderbirds on there.
I know the dad brought out a Lost Dolly doll, which is like, oh yeah, attributing your own work.
You continue. I don't need to find where this is.
Before we get too far away from it, I appreciate that baby kaiju grows up and evolves, and Emmy has like a little like a Charmeleon like second stage form with the wings.
Yeah,
that's good.
I can see some various kaiju. I can see some mechs in the background here. I can't see any.
I didn't see anything that like stood out other than like obviously like the Ultraman figures and stuff, but like I didn't see anything that stood out.
I'm assuming the one that I'm looking at that is like a multicolored mech with a big drill arm, like big red drill arm and a big blue something arm. Assuming that's a Sentai robot.
I did hear that there's like one Sentai robot. I don't know. We'd have to go look up probably like an extensive list because I didn't check.
Yeah, the rest. No, I'm not seeing any Thunderbirds. Kenji don't appreciate. I do see Bolton in the back.
I guess this is the area where Shin Ultraman triumphs. It's the
fucked up for Ultraman to have a Bolton figure.
This, you know what? This Ultraman's probably okay.
This Ultraman probably did not genocide 2 billion Boltons. It's probably not.
It's like, listen, guys, can you move somewhere else? Just
can you
we'll let you stay for like a week, but like we need to figure out a game plan here. Like maybe Mars looks pretty good this time of year.
We'll make you a new Namek. It's fine.
They move the Boltons to Mars, but they have to like keep an eye on them. So they form the organization Galahorn, and then.
Oh, damn. There's a fake XCOM coming out about leading a Martian like terrorist group against
that sounds rad.
That sounds cool.
Yeah,
you should send me a link to this.
I believe it's called Mars Tactics.
Okay, that's easy to remember.
Dev's making tactics games be like blank tactics.
Yeah, they should keep doing it. See, I'm sure something has done this, but like if I ever did like a Mars like revolutionary thing, like you gotta play around with like the red and like communist movement thing. What I mean? Like
I think that's Red Faction.
Are they? I haven't played enough Red Faction. Are they like specifically like? Do they go for that? I never knew.
I think so.
Okay.
Red Faction.
I should read the
I played a little bit of Gorilla back in the day,
but trilogy of novels.
Like the Red Faction logo is extremely. I see.
You know what? Now that yeah. Now I forgot about that logo. Yeah, you're super right.
Man, Red Faction seems like the kind of game that doesn't get made anymore. Like
no,
rip RFG.
I distinctly remember being like whenever Gorilla came out on like PS3, like me and my friends would like play that at my friend's house. I'd just be like, "Whoa, you can destroy everything!
You can destroy everything, destructible environments."
Yeah.
And now someone says fully destructible environments. I do like a jerk off motion.
Yeah, and then I bet it's not as fucking good as Bad Company 2 was.
Yeah, hell fucking yeah.
Yeah.
Nothing is.
I miss that game.
I didn't even play it and I miss it.
I played way too much of that game. It became a problem. Anyways,
Ultraman Rising is a movie that we're talking about.
Yeah,
it's a pretty good one too.
It's a pretty good one.
I don't think this would ever surpass Ultra Q for me, but of the like suffix man stuff we've seen, this is definitely probably the top for
I
me.
hope you know that suffix man does not include Ultra 7.
Yeah, no, I said that for a reason.
Okay.
I think I guess yeah, actually that like
you're allowed.
I don't know. Because I don't think Ultra Q. I think Ultra Q is going to remain at my top for a long time. I don't know if I like this more than Ultra 7 or not. I need to think about it because like the standout episodes of Ultra 7 for me really scratch an itch that like I just don't think I'll ever get out of the like superhero-y more
superhero family movie. Animated CG animated movie, yeah.
It's just like a genre preference thing. It's not even like necessarily like a mark of quality or craft.
Yeah,
it's just
like this movie.
This is what I vibe towards.
This movie is never going to talk about the non-malt at all. I know.
No, this won't leave me with like a weird like I'm thinking about the nature of otherness and how we treat each other as humans.
The
same way.
stolen Ultra Eye is not happening in here because that's gonna have kids go. That's gonna have parents calling someone. I don't know who they'd call about a movie, but
apparently the anniversary of the episode was yesterday.
Oh, nice.
Oh yeah, I saw you retweet. Yeah.
I think about stolen Ultra Eye all the fucking time.
Damn.
I love a good sci-fi, like, just little good short-form sci-fi story.
Yeah.
It's like nothing else.
That's another episode where he commits genocide. It's a low-key one. It doesn't really mention it. It's just kind of like, I reversed the missile.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. And then the next week, we had the non-vault, and we had to be like, we're not doing it for this one. We're not doing it for this one. Thank you. Thank you for your understanding.
Yeah.
Thank you for your understanding.
What I will say is that, like, what Ultra 7 and, like, Ultra Q didn't do was have me thinking about, like, my own relationships in my own life and, like, the way that, like, parental figures, like, impact you, and, like, frustrations with them, and, like, where the line is between, like, as you get older being like, okay, like they were dealing with their own shit versus like, there's some stuff that actually generally they need to apologize for. Which, you know, stuff I've been thinking about as I've gotten older. And my family situation, very different than this dude's family situation. You know, that sort of thing. But, you know, did like, I think nail that interpersonal, familial, like, reflection and making me think about things and on more of like a heart-based level than the like human condition level, perhaps.
Yeah, so, I guess that's the maybe the key like difference, because I want to make clear, I'm not bragging about this. I'm not calling you a baby. I'm not actually. I'm not also just not like a weird cold machine. But at no point watching this movie did I think about my parents. It just didn't happen. So
it didn't happen for
I
me
guess
either.
that might be the key difference. I was just like, you know.
I feel like if I was like put where I am at with this movie, I'd probably go somewhere between the two, closer to Brad's side of things. I think I really did like this movie a lot. But also I'm not like the best. Well, that was the best thing I've ever seen, kind of thing. Hyperbole, but you know.
I am also just an extremely sentimental person.
Yeah,
so
yeah. I can't be too, but just for like this stuff. For me, I was just like, oh yeah, this is just like a really well done thing, really good, really kind of like depicts some of the things that hit our particular buttons. I felt watching this, which I thought was like enjoyable. Just like, you know, some of the particular things we have talked about on the series, just like, oh, this is here in this movie. That's kind of like refreshing. And you know, we still have a lot of series to go. So who knows?
This is the closest to Punished Ide world that like we've gotten, and I do greatly appreciate that. I was thinking about that the whole time. Like this does line up with a lot of stuff we have just off the cuff, like out of pocket joked about. It should be like this.
They've done it in like a reverse situation. They've spun him the other way, where we've spun him one way. But the vibe is still there.
Mm-hmm.
Now we need the sequel, I guess, that, you know, I don't know if they're getting, but maybe they want it.
I mean, the movie's doing pretty good,
yeah.
so I think, like, you know, The odds could be good.
If they get it, well done. I look forward to your next movie. Good luck.
Same, but can I? The first thought I had when like that stinger happened was, what? Well, the first thought I thought was, okay, I do hope they get the sequel. Second thought I immediately had after that, pretty easy. Not easy, but I think for the average filmmaker, it is an easier task to make the funny little monster suddenly is thrust into my hands, and I gotta understand how to become a good parent. Versus my mom fucked off into space. What's going on about that? I think that's a harder movie to make, and I'm curious to see what direction they take that.
Post-credit scene: Jake Gyllenhaal screamed to the camera, "Hideki Go is Ultraman 2." Oh yeah, I remember now the thing that I wanted to say that like 20 minutes ago that I forgot.
Hey, we did our job. We talked.
I think just like the choice to have the protagonist be like a professional athlete and have to jiggle that with Ultraman is an interesting one that I think is good. Because mostly, like in all the shows we watched so far, they're just like defense team guys, and like, yeah, they're hiding their identity, but like this is a guy who's like not part of the defense team. He's just like, you know, he's got sports stuff, and like the physical toll on being a superhero, even before the parenting stuff happened, is also impacting like his ability to play sport. Because like that first battle with like
he's got a rough shoulder.
Naranga, he hurts his shoulder, and that makes him like have a tough time in the game. Tell you like, you know, goes, oh, actually, I'm actually right-handed, and well, he isn't actually right-handed, but he's just like, yeah, I can do it right-handed, and then just switches sizes and like wins. But I thought that was a good touch, just like, you know, having that as a different angle where like, you know, he's juggling being like a celebrity and being a superhero, and just like, you know, that how that affects his ability to play. And also I think just like on a tangent from that, I also think like him being a celebrity and on merchandise having ramifications for when Emmy breaks out is also really fun.
Oh yeah, when she's like following the blimp, whatever.
I love that it's the same soda water he complains about. It's so good.
The soda water he's drinking in the ice bath.
Yeah. He's like, oh, this coconut crap, and then he's like, oh, get the coconut. It's just like, you sell out. I have one last thing, actually, I did kind of note, and I don't...
Sora and Smash Bros.
I thought it was... Yeah. I thought this was fine, and it didn't bother me, but I kind of wondered, like, I wonder if for some people this is going to be, like, a turnoff, but, do the quips get a little too close to MCU dialogue?
Oh, yeah, but, you know...
A bit.
I didn't think they were that. I thought they could be worse.
It didn't bother me when I was watching the movie. I remember when I saw the first trailer, I felt like I got worried because of the way the trailer was edited. That'd be too quickly. But I think that's just how the trailer was edited, because some of the quote-unquote quips in the trailer are just like normal lines of dialogue in the movie, and like the trailer edits them to seem like jokes when they're actually just like in the context of the movie, they're just like fine. So yeah.
I think part of what makes it work is that when we get to the third act and shit is actually really going down, it all but stops. Like, it's just like serious action sequence.
Ultimately, the quips are like because Ken is like that at the start.
Yeah.
It is funny having an Ultraman just like talk to the guys. He's just like, listen, shut up.
Yeah, he's just talking to civilians on the street.
And they can hear them.
Wild.
Yeah, that I could see how maybe some people would be, and I mean, we kind of touched on this, but like him talking while transformed, him not necessarily even really like balancing like the alien like synthesis part of it or whatever. I could see how some people could be like, well, they just made him into like a typical American superhero. He's not really like, you know, they left out some of the key tenets that make Ultraman a little bit different identity wise.
Yeah, but, this is the bit where I'm like,
movie it works.
Yeah, this is the bit where I'm like, oh, it is obvious that this started as like like the
not Ultraman.
One of the previous ideas was Sentai.
Yeah. Though also I will say, this is the newest Ultraman thing to come out, and we've seen mostly just like the old stuff, and also
that's true.
So there's like a lot
we don't know how.
Yeah, we don't fucking know shit.
Like
but
the
I will
90s
speak
or
with
aughts.
authority regardless.
Yeah. Fucking that asshole over in Ultraman Orb could be going, "Oh, I don't feel so good, Mr. Stark." We'd never know.
That's what happens in Ultraman Orb.
I don't know, but we're gonna ponder that shit so hard. We're gonna bring back that dead meme clawing and screaming from its fucking crypt
when we get to
Ultraman Orb. It'll be really
absolutely.
dead meme because it'll be like 5 years or 6 years before we get to Orb. So.
Yeah.
I've seen Orb, so I know what happens in it, but I'm not saying.
You've pondered Orb.
I have pondered
Orb. Do we have anything more to say about Ultraman Rising?
I like this movie a lot.
Yeah, I liked it a lot.
That's about it.
It feels like the movie we needed after last week.
Yeah, actually.
Last week. For anyone listening to this unfamiliar with our other coverage, we're in the middle of Ultraman Ace over on our main show. And,
after they just did a turbo misogyny.
Yeah, after they did a turbo retool, turbo misogyny, and we got the full details of how it went down in the behind the scenes, and it was the worst thing ever. So we had a miserable week last week. We needed a break. This is a good break.
Yeah.
And if you're here from elsewhere, you should go listen to our main show. We make a good podcast.
Yeah.
Some of those early episodes, we aren't necessarily super experienced at podcasting. Also, I'm learning to edit in real time. However, I do think at some point it becomes a good podcast.
Yeah, I think honestly, our early episodes are fine. We just needed to figure out how to develop a 3-person rapport between us.
I think
we found that pretty quick.
I think we found the rapport pretty well, but I do think like the podcast has become what it is now by the time we got to Ultra 7.
Just in time for a good show.
Yeah.
Ultra Q's also a good show, but everyone knows how I feel about Ultraman.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, maybe some people don't. But they can go listen.
In which case, you should go listen.
Newsflash about the original Ultraman. It's the best show ever. You should go watch that Pearl episode that Jisoji made. It's his best one. It's
really shows off his unique style and directorial aesthetic.
We were so confused. We were like, a unique style? Are you sure? Anyway. All right. Well, if that's kind of it about Ultraman Rising. I kind of left everyone in suspense. I also like the movie. I think it's a good movie. I thought it was pretty good.
Awfully bold for us to record this podcast on Father's Day.
Yeah.
Oh,
I wonder if that's why he.
Is that why they did? I was about to say, is that why they didn't release that when they did?
I think so.
That makes sense.
So true.
Remember at the very first episode I said Ultraman is Dad Toku? Holy shit.
We're in Dad Toku.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mel.
Yeah.
Do we have an email?
Yeah, but first.
About Ultraman Rising.
First.
Oh.
I have something color timers. Got to do color timers because they were off the fucking charts.
Okay, so here's the thing. You're gonna do your due diligence on the timer thing, but something we haven't talked about yet is the fact that they shouldn't be called color timers in this movie because it's not about time. It's about their emotional stress.
Yeah. It's kind of like Blazar, where it's like an HP bar, but like it's not
Ultraman only blinks when he is very anxious.
There's a scene where his dad is telling a funny story about one time when he finally fought without his color timer blinking. After he got like words of encouragement from his mom, and I was like, this is becoming a sex thing. We can't do we have to abort. It's not based on, you have a limited amount of energy. It's based on balance. Ultraman is about balance. Ultraman is not about destroying kaiju. Ultraman is about balance. This is news to me, being from the show, currently from the Showa era. I can't wait to learn about Ultraman's love of balance in the future.
Yeah. Anyway, color timers. The dad in the opening is 17 seconds. Then we get a flashback later in the movie, right before, we get dad for real, which is an additional 23 seconds. The Naranga fight is 2 minutes 25 seconds. The stadium fight is 8 minutes 15 seconds. Then Ken plays Peekaboo, where we get, in rapid succession, 7 seconds, 4 seconds, 1 second, 2 second, 1 second. Then he goes out to get some fish for 11 seconds. He gets drooled on, which leads to another 20 seconds. We get a montage, which gets us 2 seconds, 8 seconds, 2 seconds, 3 seconds, 1 second, 1 second, 10 seconds, 1 second, 1 second.
I'm not a big fan of the government.
And then Ken does motorcycle henshin. We get the Tokyo Tower scene where Amy breaks her arm. 6 minutes, 25 seconds. Dad comes and helps with a second, healthier montage. 5 seconds, 10 seconds, 4 seconds, 11 seconds. The can't scene, Kenji gets mad, 26 seconds. Then we get another scene where the house is destroyed, and then Kenji transforms for the battle in the ocean, round 1, before he gets knocked out, 4 minutes. Kenji's dad shows up. Kenji's dad is transformed for 9 minutes, 42 seconds, and Kenji in the second round, to the end of the movie, 6 minutes, 41 seconds. Oh, they say 9 minutes 42 seconds for the dad. Don't know if
I think so. Did
you?
Okay.
I
don't know.
Okay, there we go. That's all the fucking timers. You're welcome. Appreciate that.
I do not envy you.
You did not have to do this. However, I do salute your efforts.
I started losing my mind when we started doing Peekaboo, and then the montage happened. I was like, oh, and then I made a tweet like, "I'd be better all appreciate me."
We appreciate
That's
you.
funny.
Don't worry.
Don't worry. People did reply saying, "Yeah, we appreciate
you." Emails. I know we have at least 1/3 of an email.
Yeah. So this again, Logan. We read a third of your email for
Mirrorman.
We'll read the next third of your email next week when you talk about next week's Ultraman Ace episodes. But for now, your thoughts on Rising. Logan, hi, LGQ, etc., the thing we said with the Mirrorman episode. First up is Ultraman Rising. I really like this movie. While it's mostly safe in my opinion, I think it nailed the themes of Ultraman and had a real heart to it. I have heard the opinion from fans like, oh yeah, he really gets the themes of Ultraman, which means, once again, I think we're rubbing up against what people who like Ultraman think of Ultraman and what we think of Ultraman.
We generally speaking, we are still from an era of Ultraman where Ultraman is just obviously evil.
Except to the audience at the time.
Even the good ones. Except to the audience at the time, but even the good ones are evil. Ultra 7 is really sad about committing genocide all the time, but he does commit genocide all the time.
And a ghost child does say, "Why are you doing this?"
And he's like, "I have to save humanity," and then he does it, unfamiliar with the world where Ultraman is like actually a hero, not our experience. However, looking forward to it.
Yeah.
Which is not to say there is not a place for evil Ultra. I'm like I said last week on Ultraman Ace. I can't wait for the first Ultraman who is has a rank in a police force, has a badge.
One could argue that's all of them so far, but
Yeah, but I want I don't even necessarily mean the guys in the team. I mean the Ultraman that when confronting an alien pulls out a badge.
Oh, okay. Continuing the next paragraph. I really love the animation style and use of colors. While clearly inspired from Spider-Verse, it did not seem like a ripoff. I'm glad they went for it. Ken's a pretty interesting protagonist for the Ultra series since he's arguably the most flawed out of the ones I've seen. I also have maybe Gento, who's just a bad husband and dad. And like Ken, yeah.
Gento haters stay winning.
Will the Blazar movie address the fact that Gento is a terrible dad? We'll see. Hard to tell based on how that show ends.
He walks out in the middle of the fucking night rattling the bracelet going, yeah, I'm a good dad. Loser.
I also found it interesting that the movie spent no time explaining what Ultraman is or anything else, but they seem to see saving it for a sequel, which I hope we get. So yeah, that's his thoughts. And yeah.
Yeah, I think as far as like this, this concept being based on an idea that wasn't originally built for Ultraman.
Yeah, this concept is based.
This concept, this story was based. Fucking Jonathan Frakes. Was this story based? Yes.
Jonathan
yes, it was.
Frakes has come up more on this podcast than I ever could have anticipated. It's so funny.
Did you know he directed the live-action Thunderbirds movie?
Shut the fuck up. No, he didn't, did he?
Yes, he did. You can go Google it right fucking now.
Oh my god. It all comes back to Thunderbirds.
Thunderbirds live-action movie.
The original British Toku. I don't know if actually Doctor Who predates it. But
I say live action like puppets aren't live action. But you know what? Real sized. Human person sized.
Yeah, I think I can
make it. Thunderbirds 2004 movie directed by Jonathan Frakes.
Oh my god.
Thunderbirds Detour Quarry win.
Yeah. Well, oh god damn. I mean, here's the thing. Thunderbolt Fantasy Season 4 is happening, so I'm watching Thunderbolt Fantasy. So, like, anytime someone who has not watched Thunderbolt Fantasy feels like watching Thunderbolt Fantasy and then wants to talk about it, we have a podcast ready and waiting to go, because I love talking about Thunderbolt Fantasy. However, we don't have, I'm not forcing anyone. I'm just...
I mean, I'd be happy to do it. I just, want to do it when we're not dying.
Yeah.
This is true.
I have the same thing, but I think it'd be funny at some point to force both of you to watch the live-action Guyver movies.
I'd be down for that.
I mean, yeah. Those got name dropped in the first episode of our podcast.
Listen.
We did.
We could just make a doc of, like, ideas. And we'll
possible shit. Yeah.
I like to do that just because I have my own ideas, and I don't want to be, like, under the impression I'm the only one having ideas, forcing it on people.
Well,
but anyway,
is that the email?
Yeah, that's it. We'll get to
thank you, Logan.
Next week with the Ace stuff. I will also say I might, starting next week, also start like bringing up YouTube comments that we get on the YouTube version of the podcast, just because I'm like, we get a couple of them. It's not like a lot, but it's also like, well, they listen to podcasts, we may as well respond to them. Because it's basically like the same as an email in practice. So
the only comments we get are from people essentially writing emails to us. If I'm ever looking at a YouTube comment, I'm like, this is an email. What do you?
Yeah.
So I just like, what are you doing on YouTube?
Because I saw some of the emails for the comments for this week. I'm like, this is basically an email. We should address them because I'd feel bad. So I'll include that in the emails starting next week.
Okay. That is a podcast. If you want to follow the show, UltraQ, on Twitter, it is @Ultra_Q. That is @Ultra_QUEUE. It's a pun. You get it? It's funny. Watch UltraQ. Watch the fucking show UltraQ.
And Ultra 7.
And Ultra 7 also. Confirmed, don't watch Ultraman.
I feel like there's at least 2 shows you should watch, 3 you should probably watch, and then my cold shot is that, like, where we are right now, of the 5 shows we've covered, the shows worth watching are Q7 and then probably Return, and then the others we'll see. You can add if you want.
Yeah, we'll see how the rest of Ace is. Mel, your plugs.
Hi, you can follow me @DeCrowns on Twitter and on Blue Sky. We have an email, ultraqpod@gmail.com, and we have a coffee, UltraQ Fund. It's a bit of a tip jar going towards, presumably one day, hopefully, commissioning some subtitle work for some of the stuff that there's gaps for in subtitle stuff. Brad.
Yeah, you can find me on YouTube and Twitter at BInvoked. That's B_INVOKED. Yeah, I'm around.
All right. Sick. That is a podcast. Thank you for listening to us talk about Ultraman Rising and also some other bullshit in there.
Yeah.
Next week we'll be covering 3 episodes of Ultraman Ace. We're back to normal on Ace.
Yeah. I do want to say, just for posterity, because we joked about Kamen Hibiki it last week, I did think to myself, what happened if we tried to do it faster? And I did the math.
And we only get 2 weeks.
Yeah, we only get 2 weeks because there's exactly 24 episodes left, which means it's
not worth it.
If we do 4 episodes a week, that's just only 6 weeks instead of 8. So it's kind of just more effort per week that is worth to save the 2 weeks. Taro, say no.
We will simply be staying on schedule. Here's the thing: the rest of the show might be fine. It'll be it'll have the immortal scar,
the stink.
Yeah, it'll have just it'll be we won't be happy about it, but it might be fine.
It could just be decent Return of Ultraman content, but just about Hokuto instead.
Eventually we do have to watch the original writer come back and be like, what the fuck did you guys do while I was gone? And try to wrap it up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, that is the fun of Ultraman Ace that we're covering at the minute. We have a podcast on Mirrorman that has either come out or is coming out. I don't know which order I'm doing things in this week, but that is all on me. I leave that to you. Yeah. I just
not that I have a choice, but
Yeah, no, I'm a tyrant. I
grant you this because otherwise you'll die. So
I don't know. There was a rough patch with editing. I think we're out of it. That is the show. Join us next week. And goodbye.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Do you
have something more to add?
I just want to say, if you're one of the people who's maybe listening to this as your first episode, we got stuff coming up as well. Because Ultraman Arc is coming out next month.
Oh yes, that's true. This show, Skipping the Queue, is so named because first of all, Mel was excited for Blazar, and it was already an Ultraman fan before we started this podcast, so it would be cruel beyond belief to be like, well, no, you can't watch the new Ultraman. You have to stay with us back in the Showa era.
Yes, because as we know, people who do watch-along podcasts only ever watch things in release order.
This is a deep cut.
That's where I like to see this.
This is a deep cut. This does not work for anyone outside of this specific time when it's in the awareness and knows of the podcast we're talking about. But yes, that is fantastic. Yes. All right. Goodbye. We'll see you next time maybe.
Goodbye.
Later from the Nebula M70 whatever. Fucking. Bye.